Hey guys, just want to talk to you about our new Mark IV regulator. Now, our Mark III regulator has already been sold for several years and a lot of people have loved using it. But our new Mark IVs, we've got a few extra features on there and I'm just going to get into that and talk to you about that today. Now, one of the primary reasons why we wanted to come up with a Mark IV regulator is because of safety. We had a lot of people using the regulators on various different pressure vessels which are rated to various different pressure ratings. So most of the regulators that just came out of the box, they would have maybe a 70 or 80 psi pressure release valve. And that was the first thing we wanted to cover. We have some people using these regulators on, for instance, things like disposable kegs like key kegs or Kegosaurus kegs or other one-way like poly kegs or Dolium kegs. And there's all these sort of one-way plastic kegs out there. And they were rated to a lower pressure than a lot of the stainless steel kegs. And because of that, we wanted to make sure that we had options for different pressure release valves and made it easy to interchange these pressure release valves as well. And then also to have the pressure release valves color coded so you can visually see which pressure release valve setting you've actually got in there. So the regulator itself normally comes with a green one, which is a 4.5 bar pressure release valve, but we also can have these compatible and interchangeable pressure release valves with things like our ball lock kegs, which are very common in the beer and craft brewing industry. You might notice this red pressure release valve. It's also one that we use on lower pressure release tanks. Things like our plastic Kegosaurus fermenters, for instance, use these. And these can also be put inside the regulator as well to give you an added level of safety, just to make sure you're not over pressurizing those low pressure tanks. So these 2.5 bar pressure ones, literally they only take a few seconds to swap out. But the grey ones, obviously some people want to use higher pressures. For instance, let's say you wanted to dispense soda water or carbonate, for instance, sometimes the grey pressure release valve is a better option. So that's one of the reasons why we also stock these. With regards to the gauges are rubber coated, so you've got these rubber boots which fit over the gauges like that, and that helps to protect the gauges from incidental damage with small bumps and scrapes. I'll show you a protective gauge guard that we have separately though, a little bit later on. Now, the gauges in this video are just the dual scale, so they have PSI and they also have kilopascals, but now because we're starting to get a little bit more call for regulators over in Europe, we're actually starting to put triple scale gauges on the regulators as well, so they have bar, PSI and also the kilopascals. With regards to the body of the regulator, we've made a new casting for the body. We've been able to tweak some of the aspects of the regulator and how it works and make the body a little bit more compact, yet still giving us the same performance of what we've had in previous regulator models. If you look at the back of the casting, this is also a fairly major change. You can see we've actually got these 3 holes here and these threads in here, and you probably ask what that's for. Basically, this is because we've got a number of different accessories which we'll sell, which will adapt onto those, and I'll show you those in just a moment. Now, because we've made the body of the regulator a little bit more compact, actually there's not so much weight off to the side of the center of weight of the gas cylinder. So you might find that actually with these new regulators, they're less likely to topple over sideways because the weight's sort of closer to center. Now let me take this regulator off. I should say everyone should have one of these tools. The 5-in-1 tap tool is really handy, and I've actually put a bit of string on here. You might find that handy as well, so you can actually hang it on the valve handle, so you've always got a spanner next to your regulator. But anyway, let me just take this off. Now, as I was saying, on the back of the regulator, we've got these mounting holes. This is a standard M6 screw size, so easy to find bolts which will fit into here. Now, you can use these mounting holes to actually mount the regulators onto a gas board. So a lot of people, for instance, might actually mount the regulator itself to the back or wall of their bar, and then actually have a high pressure extension lead going from here off to the gas cylinder. That's kind of a nice option, because it means that what you can do is have the regulator at eye level where you can easily read the gauges and adjust the pressure, but then you can have the gas cylinder itself tucked away in a cupboard or on the ground where it's out of the way. The other thing you can do with these mounting holes is actually use it to attach the new design of gauge guard that we've got. So this is a new stainless steel folded gauge guard design, and to fit this is really simple. You just feed it into the hole like so, and then with your M6 screws, just screw them into the back. I'll just put one in for now. And you can see when you've got the gauge guard on, it completely encapsulates both of the gauges, giving you better protection than some of the previous gauge guards that we've had. But the other thing, if you look at the back of the gauge guard, we've still got the ability to mount them. So now that we've occupied the mounting screw holes on the back of the regulator, we want to reveal new mounting holes. So you can actually use these mounting holes here and here, so you can still mount the regulator onto the wall if you want to. Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoy using our new Mark IV regulator as much as we do. It's definitely a top quality regulator for really great value. If you want to hear about any of the new stuff we're coming up with, definitely sign up to our YouTube channel and also join our Facebook group. All right, thanks guys.